So yesterday we tried to understand why we need to go for AWS. What is AWS? Who is using AWS? And advantages and some of the architectural concepts. In that we understood what is the service catalog, what are the geographic components it has. It will be having connection with regions, availability zones, edge location, global infrastructure. I thought of, showing you that AWS login. Let me log into my AWS account. I will try to show you that, what are the number of regions and how the infrastructure is been set up. Just a minute. Let me log into my AWS account. I'm logging in. Just a minute. Okay, this is the screen. Okay.
I couldn't see you.
Oh, okay. Can you able to see?
Yeah, I can no.
Okay. So this is the, once we log in, this is the management console for AWS. Okay. And in that, there are different category of services. They have categorized under compute, blockchain, analytics, end user computing, Internet of Things, management, governance, storage, database, security. Okay. Likewise, they have segregated under various categories. So there are more than 170 plus services. Okay. So they keep on adding every quarter or two some of the services as per the the requirements that the customers they have, and all are not free, and some are free, some are paid services. Okay, that they are providing. AWS is full form is Amazon Web Services.
Amazon
right?
Web Services.
Okay, so as part of discussion the architecture in the service catalog, we have to see what are the global components, right? So this is how it will be, and by default, whenever we try to there is some issue, I think. Personal health dashboard does not require regional selection. Okay. So we already created a EC2 instance, right, initially. So let me click that. That is, we are trying to create a free tier. So in that, if I click instances, these are the different instances we do have. And for our practice, we always go with EC2 instance, nothing but creating of a server. How we create our normal computer where we install operating system and we start using it, right? Similarly, we try to create a server in the cloud. That is Amazon cloud, AWS cloud. The server, we call it as EC2. Elastic compute cloud. E means elastic, C means compute, another C is cloud, compute cloud, C2. There are two C, right? Compute cloud, there are two words starting with
Yeah.
alphabet C. That is the reason they gave as C2. Elastic compute cloud. Compute cloud are two words which are starting with letter C, alphabet C. That is the reason they gave C2, EC2. It's nothing but a normal computer where we try to create or install the operating system with a specific configuration, right? If you want to configure a new PC or a server, so we try to see
Yeah.
what is the hardware, what is the memory, and what is the processor we require, what is the hard disk, what kind of network drivers we need to have. All these configurations we try to do. Similarly, here also we do have that EC2. EC2 is the server. In that, while creating of EC2 server, we get around 7 steps. Okay, that we'll talk in detail in the coming sessions. So likewise, for our DevOps session, we always go with EC2 instance. If you want to create EC2 instance, we click launch, and it will display. We have to select the respective OS, which OS we want to create, right? So
Yeah.
similarly, here coming to our infrastructure, by default, whenever we log into the server, it will be connecting to US East, North Virginia region. Like that, in US, there are 4 regions, and each region has multiple availability zone. What is availability zone? Availability zone is nothing but a data center. Okay, in a region, there can be multiple data centers. Why we have to have that? If one of the region is down for any reason, the other zone will be up and running, so that the customer will not get impacted in any recovery, in any disaster times, right? Anytime anything can happen, natural calamities, right? Say now suddenly we got this kind of a infection across the globe, right?
Yeah.
So likewise, any kind of natural calamities might occur, earthquake or floods or tsunami or fire, anything can happen for a particular region or particular city or any of the locations. So at that point of time, we cannot rely on one availability zone. If we have in more than 2 or more than 1, always Amazon recommend to keep their applications in multiple availability zones, because if some of the or for any reason, if any of the availability zone is down, our application can start running in some other availability zone in the region. Okay, so that your customers will not get impacted, your business will not be impacted with the slowdown of your availability zone or with your disaster of your respective availability zone. So your application will keep up and running. Okay, so every region, these are called regions. US East in 2 we have, West we have 2. Similarly, Asia Pacific we have 6 in Hong Kong. In India we have in Mumbai and Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. In Canada we have 1 in Central, and in Europe we have 5, and Middle East 1, South America 1. Likewise, across the globe they have their regions in these different locations. In each region, there will be multiple availability zones. Okay, it depends from region to region. Some may have 3, some may have 2, some may have 5. It depends. Okay, on the respective region, how they have been there, depending on the customer usage, all that. There are various factors. Okay, it all depends on Amazon's decision, how many availability zones they can have. Okay, at various locations. So in each region, there will be multiple availability zones. Okay, that's what we try to understand, right, yesterday. Next, this is this complete, structure, okay, regarding your regions and the respective availability zones, and this complete services, whatever it is providing, right? Whatever, see, this is the management console. It has multiple services, right? So all these comes under our infrastructure, which is called global infrastructure. Okay, including your accounts, what
Yeah.
is the account we are creating, and your regions, all that comes under your infrastructure or your setup, what Amazon is giving for us. So why they are saying global infrastructure? Because it is spread across the globe, not permitted to one country or one continent. It is across the globe. They have spread their operations. They are spreading their operations across the globe to support the customers around the globe. That is called, that is the reason it is called global infrastructure with multiple regions. Each region has multiple availability zones. And there is a other concept called edge location. Okay, so this is about the, our diagram which we draw yesterday. You remember that?
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
that. See the documents. Yesterday we draw this diagram, right? AWS service catalog. AWS is geographical components, what we have, regions, availability zones, edge location, global infrastructure. All this we understood by seeing the respect to infrastructure of the AWS, correct? Spreading across the
Yeah.
geography. Similarly, we also understood what are the different services AWS is giving. Some are free services, some are paid services. Okay, it all depends what are the services we are choosing. We always try to select a free services, okay, so that they will not charge, because we are using for our practice, for our demonstration purposes. Okay, and in real time people try to choose, because already the clients or customers, they pay that, you know service fee, whatever it is meant for, they will pay to the Amazon. So they will give the respective services, even the paid services, depending on our requirement. It's not that all the services whatever they are having we have to use all of them. No, whatever services that we require, we try to use as per our need. See, there are many services here, right, which Amazon is providing. It is not that we have to use must and should all the services. No, whatever services we need, okay, for our application, those services the customers will use. Accordingly, they will pay the fee that has been supposed to pay for the AWS. Okay, so having said all this, let's try to understand what is the edge location. Okay, let's have some of the, some theoretical concepts here. Okay, AWS follow the structure or framework to provide its services across the globe. Okay, we already discussed what is the structure or framework, how they are providing, right? Next, so how many regions they have? 4 and 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. See, there are multiple regions. Okay, so they operate in from, I will put it like this. AWS operates from various region. Oh, you can able to see this, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. AWS operates from various regions. Okay, operates from various regions across the globe. Okay, using zones and edge location. Okay, so let's see what is this edge location. Let's have some diagram. Let me draw a small diagram. Say for example, we have our server here. Okay, and we have other servers. Okay, similarly we have other servers. Okay, so this was spread in a cloud. Okay, this is one availability zone, AZ1. Similarly, we have this is I'm drawing as a server. Okay, hope you understand. I'm drawing a
Yeah,
computer. Okay, okay, it's in cloud. Okay, this is another availability zone, AZ2. Okay,
yeah,
so we have another availability zone with some other, servers. This is a keyboard. Okay, okay. Now we have another availability zone I'm trying to draw. Okay, this is another availability zone 3. Okay, this complete setup. Okay, so this is a region. So I'm saying Hyderabad. Okay, so this is similarly we have in some other city like say Singapore. Okay, now here how we can see that general Amazon recommends to keep the server in 2 availability zones. Okay, any of that, so that if one of the availability zone in Hyderabad is down, so we can use from other availability zone. So there is always a connectivity. Okay, and by any reason, okay, if any of that application or any of the services in another region, okay, so they want to avail, then how can they do that? That's where the question comes, right? So at that point of time, they make sure that they use the services, okay, in different location or in a different region. So that how they will do it with the help of a point called edge location. Okay, so here we have, I can say, uh, in Hyderabad. Similarly, we have it in Singapore. Okay, so any user, okay, and they want to, they are from India, say for example, and this person, they want to connect to the region. So by default, it will direct to any of the regions, either this or this or this, because they are connecting in India, right? So
Yeah.
then at that point of time, there is a point called edge location. So they cannot directly connect here. Through this, it will come here. Okay, this request will come to the respect to edge location. Through the edge location, it will be redirected, but not like this. Okay, so similarly, any other user, okay, let me put it in other color. Any other user, they want to again user one. So user two, here it is user one. Okay, and uh, this user is in Singapore. Okay, and this person will be connected to a edge location, and through edge location, it will be connected to the Singapore region. Okay, and say for example, a company called X, okay, or XYZ company, some company. Okay, they have, no, say for example, how should I put it? They require a company called XYZ. It require 2 servers. Okay, and a user from, you know, Singapore, say take the same user. Okay, so they will connect to the edge location, and that company, they want their servers to be created, one in, you know, in Hyderabad and other one in Singapore. Okay, at that point of time, the user from, you know, Singapore can connect to one server in to this edge location they have created, and if they want to connect to the India server, so through this edge location they connect to the India edge location, and again this India edge location will be connected to the Singapore. Here the communication will happen between the 2 edge location. This is Singapore edge location, this is India edge location. So if the user wants to access the server present in India or Hyderabad, so then this edge location of Singapore will be contacting edge location of Hyderabad, and edge location of Hyderabad will be connecting to the respective server in respect to availability zone. Okay, because that's the demand of the project. So the project require
Yeah.
2 servers require. One, they want to, you know, create, you know, create in this region, Hyderabad region. So a user from Singapore, they can connect the edge location of Singapore, and that edge location of Singapore will be connecting to the edge location of India, and in turn that will connect to the any of the availability zones. Is it clear?
Yeah.
If the server is created here, then it will be like this. If the server is created in their location, then they directly connect here. This is arrow mark, you can understand.
Yeah.
but the server created in other location. Okay, so then it will be this way. Got it?
Yeah.
So this is how it will be, the concept of edge location. Edge location is between the two regions. Okay, you're following this diagram?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's, this is about the edge location. Now minimum two availability zones in one region. Okay, that means availability zones. What is an availability zone? Availability zone, what does it mean? It is the location where where exactly the physical computers or servers are available. Okay, nothing but our data centers, right? A data center has a computer, right? Maybe in any
Yeah.
of the locations, which they call it as availability zone. Okay, minimum two availability zones in one region. Okay, and every region has one edge location. Okay, just now we saw this, right? There is one
Yeah.
edge location. Okay, so this is about some of the concepts in architecture, and I want to add some more points. What is edge location? What is edge location? It will decide the customer request, okay, to which nearest region it should redirect. Okay, it will decide. Next, how to choose the right region? Or regions. What are the various factors? I said, right? We have
Yeah.
to think about what are the various factors that that should be considered when we are choosing a region. First one is pricing. Okay, this pricing, say for example, I am the customer and I want to select a region where I can host my application, right? So for that, I need to look into various factors. First one is price. Okay. And this price, it varies depending on the city, land cost, etc. All there are various other factors. Okay, they take all the demographic information, and basing on all these factors, they will come up with a price. Amazon people, and they say that this is the cost it will be if in this region, and they say that the price is not always same. It varies from region to region, location to location, city to city, and country to country. Correct? Because the currency in one country is different from the currency from other country, and
Yeah.
it depends. So accordingly, the pricing varies. Okay. So it all depends on various factors, other factors, not only this city, land cost, there are other factors which are influencing as per the law of the land. Correct? And by taking all the inputs, okay, I will decide in which region I have to choose, right? So that I can host my application. Next, this is the only factor? No, there is other factor. What is the other one? User, or the customer location. This is also very important. See, I am one of my application. I want to host in a region called North Virginia, say for example. I cannot directly go and do that. Okay, of course I can do, but to have a better performance, we have to see where my customers are based out of, in which location most of my customers are, in which country they are from, in which location they are from, in which city they are from, in which continent or which country. So this is very much important. Say my customers are more from European countries. So I can go and choose the region that is close to my customer base. We have to see where most of our customers are based out of, right? If my customers are mostly located in European part, so we
Yeah.
try to choose the region from European. If my customers are based mostly in Canada, 70% or 80% or any of the percentages, whatever you consider, then we create in Canada or nearer region. If there is nothing in Canada, we can go in nearest to Canada. What is the region we have? We select that. I'm just giving an example. Okay. Already we have in Canada, right? Just I'm giving an example here.
Yeah.
You can see it here, right? Canada, we have in one
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
Central. I'm just giving an example. Don't take the literal meaning here. I'm giving an example. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
So similarly, in one of the location where our customers are more, okay. So at that point of time, if there is no location, we take a nearest location where our customers can access our application. If the particular region has that availability zone and all the factors, then we can go and create there. So the customers can access more faster than if we create in other location or other regions, right? So customer location or where my customers are located, that also I should consider before I choose a region. So now
Yeah.
we got two factors. One
I have a
is,
question here.
yes, please.
So, like, this whole process is in cloud, right? So, is it really affects the location of the servers actually?
Yes, 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 of course. Because when you're trying to access from a location, okay, where it is nearer, it will be a little bit faster, right? There is always the performance will be calculated. Okay. but you can see the difference in microseconds. Okay, that not much. Okay, everything is
Okay.
that we need to see the what you call your network bandwidth. This all matters. Okay, that is the next point I want to add it here. Next one is latency. Okay, latency is also one of the other factor. Not only pricing, I have to see the customers, where most of my customers are located, and we have to see the latency. Latency is nothing but the delay in trying to connect or getting the respective service, which is called latency, right? What is the time it is taking to get the response from the respective connecting point? I'm talking the dictionary meaning. Okay, this is
Yes.
where the latency means. If I want to reach a particular point B from point A, so what is the time it is taking to reach the point B from point A, and again getting the response from point B to point A, that also should be calculated. This comes under latency. What is the time it is taking? That's all latency is. Correct? When I hosted my application in a server, say for example in North
Yeah.
America, in one of the region, Ohio or somewhere in a city, in a state. So at that point of time, I have to see from the location where I am in Hyderabad or Delhi or Bangalore or any of the city in India, I'm trying to connect. So what is the time it is taking? The latency, all that should be calculated. Or I want to connect to a location in Canada, or I want to connect a location to UK or Europe, any of the locations. So that's how it should be considered. How my application is, what is the different internal components that are present in my application, right? How fast I am getting that if I keep it in the cloud, if I use it on premise. All these factors should be calculated and see the what is the best I can get. Okay, if I host my application in the cloud. Okay,
Yeah.
so that region, choosing of the region is one of the critical factors. In that, the third factor is latency. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next, what is the next factor? So I got pricing, cost, okay, good. And I also checked where my mostly customers are. I'm trying to take or host my application in a location where mostly my customers are located, so that they can able to access it fast without any delay, right? That's where latency comes. So I also consider the latency part, throughput, efficiency, all that comes under latency. Performance, correct? Next, there is other factor, right? I should also see the main point is security. Security and compliance. This also should be considered. I have to see the cheapest price, cost effective, right? On choosing the region, or I can say on selecting a particular location in a region. And I have to see where most of my customers are located. Next, I have to see how my application will be performed if the customers are accessing from a remote location across the globe. I have to calculate that. I have to make an estimate on that. Next, we have to say, we have to look into a main critical concept is security and compliance. I cannot say to my customers, I cannot give the security. I can give up to certain level, but not, I cannot guarantee on the security and compliance part. But if I consider all the other factors, that is of no use. Every customer want their application or their end users, they expect their, whenever they are trying to access the particular application, they want to have in a secured way, right? They want to have in a secured connectivity should be there, and with a complying with a lot of regulations as per the location or
Yeah.
region.
Yeah.
So security and compliance always go hand in hand. Okay, so this is also one of the important. I cannot say to my customers, I cannot guarantee on security, but I can provide the best performance. You can get it within microseconds or nanoseconds. You can able to get the output. It is of no use as long as you are not providing a security. Then what is the use of calculating all this? Correct. People who are accessing your product, they see that, right? The security, whether if I try
Yeah.
to connect to that application, I will be getting hacked. So everyone will get fear, right? There is a threat in connecting to the respective site or application or a product. So then no one tries to use that, right? And no one wants their transactions to be tracked or their transactions to be hacked, right? So security is one of the important reasons. No one wants to compromise their identity. Am I right? Your username, your password, or any other details.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are all very important, especially in financial domain, okay, banking, insurance, or any regulatory environments, or in terms of your healthcare. These are very critical, right? Security and compliance are very key components in these industries, in these domains. So no one can compromise under security and compliance. Correct? So we should also consider this factor, which is also equally and sometimes more important than other factors. Correct?
Yeah.
There are certain customers, say a banking customer. So I want to access their banking website application, which is hosted in cloud. And if someone says that, yeah, there is a threat in that application, so don't access that. Then I don't want to access that. I'll go to bank and do the transaction, whatever it is required. I don't connect to that website or
Yeah.
any
That's
of the
true.
locations. Similarly, if it is in a remote location, then we don't want to use the services. We choose for some other, you know, application or product from some other vendor, because security no one wants to compromise no matter what. If you are giving for cheapest price your application, if there is a security vulnerability, no one wants to use that, right? You are trying to give with cheapest price among your competitors across the globe, and there is a security loophole. Do you go, you take a dare step to go and access that? No. Let me shell out my money. I want to go for a secured connectivity. I want to have a secured way of transaction. Am I right? So that is where the security plays a critical, a vital role, very important role towards choosing a right region. Not only in region, in every part of our life, right? In our daily day-to-day activities, we try to see, we want to have a
Yeah.
security to your life, your personal life, your career. You want to have a security. Correct? Why you are planning for security? Because at any given time, if something goes wrong, you should always have a net, so that you will fall on the net but not on the ground where you will have a hard hit. Am I right? So
Yes.
we don't want to have all that. So security is very much important to your personal life as well as to your career. At the same time, the same concept will apply here as well. When you're trying to access a particular application, a customer will say that my connectivity should be having a secure tunnel connectivity, so that my application or my access to the respective application will not be hacked. Correct? Will not be compromised. Correct? Any transaction. So this comes under security, which is very, very important in various industries, in
Yeah.
defense, in a space research, in technologies, or especially biotechnology, or in terms of, any R&D organizations. Security and compliance very important. Banking, financial services, insurance, healthcare. So almost every industry are very much interested and concentrating on security. Apart from that, there are certain industries, they are, without that they cannot live. like BFSI, banking, financial services, insurance, healthcare, defense, space research, they are all very much highly secured, correct? So those customers, they always look into this as a prime reason for them to select. They don't bother about price, they don't bother about other areas, but security is very much critical. So it all depends on the industry you are coming from, so that we can recommend. Okay, we have to know the
Yes.
customer background so that we can recommend which is the best to choose the region for them. Okay,
Yeah.
next factor is service availability. What is this? This is also one of the other important factor towards selecting a region. What it is, we should make sure, okay, being a service provider or I want to give my product service to the customers, I make sure that my product or service is available always 24 by 7 or 15 cross 7 or 15 cross 5, whatever it may be, as per your requirement that you have, as per your business operation. You make sure your application or product is available over cloud, right? That's called service availability. I cannot say that my product will be available only 15 hours in a day, remaining 10 hours or 9 hours it will be down. No, we cannot say that, right? If it is a web application, there will be customers who are accessing globally, irrespective of the time zone, right? So some customers they're accessing from India,
Yeah.
and some customers they're accessing from US, some customers they're accessing from Europe, some customers they will be accessing from Australia. There are different time zones across the globe. So always it all depends on the your application, what kind of support or what kind of access you are giving to your customers. That is also one of the important, so that your application or product is always available to your customers or end users. Got it, sir? So these are the very important and critical factors when you are trying to architect a, a cloud scenario application. Is it clear, Sasi? So
Yeah. Yeah.
these are very, very important. Okay, very critical. So that's the reason I have taken good time to explain on that. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I will not take much time here. Okay, I will try to push it off. Now, I think we are coming to close to our time. So tomorrow I will talk about what are the various categories of AWS we have, this which already we
Yeah.
saw this, right? So, you know, right, I will have, I'll talk at a outline tomorrow, some of them.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll talk about what are the basic, services which are mandatory in AWS. Outline, just we'll list it and we'll go to some other concept.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Well, in the next few sessions, we'll talk about the Linux basics, next 2, 3 classes. And before
Yes.
that, we have to understand what are the domains of AWS, what are the mandatory or core services in AWS. We'll list few of them, and we'll go to the next 2, 3 days. We'll talk about the Linux basics, which are important because all
Yeah.
our installations or configurations related to Devops, it is on Linux. Okay, Linux based operating system. So
Okay.
we'll see that. Is it clear? Any questions
Yes.
here?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank
Have a
you
nice
very
day.
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.